matchup. Match number 2 of the day. Featuring this player, spawning in the top left, the red Zerg, representing Root Gaming, it is Hydra.
And his opponent, going for some interesting early game strats with this 10 pool, followed up with gas. In the bottom right, representing my insanity, it is Sacsri.
Right,
that's a lot of lings for this time in the game, and that's a lot of Baneling Nest following it up.
Well, this is going to be the 10 pool Bane strategy, which is a strategy that I feel like comes down to the ultimate of like so much control. You can hold it with the 15 hatch, which is what Hydra did decide to go for. But if he doesn't realize what is going on right now and doesn't actually deal with it correctly, you can just straight up lose the game. And I feel like here, it's going to come down to it. Like, you can't really tell who's going to win. But this is the best situation that Sacsri could have asked for. Getting this hatch first, I believe it was. Or was this a pool first? Hatch first into an earlier pool. So Hydra didn't play it too greedy, as he did go and get his... he went and got his pool without making those extra drones. But 4 Banelings are going to go ahead and have something to say about this, as Hydra actually moving in a bunch of his links. Got to be careful with it now.
Super delicate. At this point, the links have no speed, so they are not dictating the flow of engagements. There aren't even queens out for him to try and pick them off early. And one of them does go off a little prematurely. All of the lings have gone down now. There's still 2 Banes. Big splits in the main, so no mining going on up there.
But a big thing here is that you have to realize that getting the drone kills isn't necessarily how you win the game here. It's all about the control. You have to hit your Banelings with their lings and maybe even hit the Larva in order to try to hold this. So these lings... yeah, they're okay and all, but look at this. Hydra has 2 queens out already, 2 hatcheries, and he's even a drone ahead. So unless you do that critical damage, and that's not what Sacsri did at all.
No, I'm not sure that was quite as effective as it needed to be. And if he'd dropped those Banelings on the Larva instead of like the last one that was kind of a little bit wasted on a single drone, he didn't really perhaps maximize his advantage with them. And if he had done, then perhaps the game would be a little bit different. There wouldn't be so much ling opposition. But there is another wave on its way in, so this still has the potential to go all the way.
Yeah, there's 2 queens here, and they both have transfuses. I just don't see Sacsri getting a lot done here. He's going to just try to go for the drones. Even another queen coming out here for Hydra. But there's a nice surround on that queen. Maybe even using the Baneling to hit the queen. Yeah. Queen coming out is just it's not looking good for Sacsri unless it's 1 Baneling.
He's actually... Oh! Okay. Yeah. Alrighty, folks. We're spawning into Overgrowth as promised. And in the bottom left, throwing down his hatchery first, in the red, it is Root Gaming's Hydra.
And his opponent, not dropping down a hatchery at all, he has a pool completed. It is going to be my Insanity's Sacsri.
He did
this
it again.
Is an 8 pool, by the way. But he did cancel a Larva. I don't know if it was intentional. I have a feeling that he was going for something, and then just said, no, you know what, I feel like 8 pooling. And then he canceled the Larva, so he is down by 1 Larva at the moment. And we'll see if that actually does anything. The good thing here for him, though, is that Hydra did go for the hatch first. And while the 10 pool Bane can be held pretty easily with the hatch first, 8 pool is a little bit more difficult to do so. And it's going to be up to the micro of Sacsri. And you know what?
I mean, these lings are going to have free reign for a good little while, but at the same time, you have to be very careful with the ling micro itself when when you're in Sacsri's position, because enough drones with a good surround will actually just kill all of the lings. They might take a couple of losses, but it's less of a loss than would be taken on one's economy.
Yeah, the fact that he didn't just go for the kill there makes me think that he does have some good follow-up here, as he does just get the cancel on that hatchery. You see 9 pools do that quite a bit, but the 8 pool is even easier to get that done. And now he's going to have a lot more lings, but he's droning up now. And he may even see him get an expansion. However, he's starting to mine the gas, so I do not think we're going to see it anytime soon. It is going to be speed as a follow-up for Sacsri.
I feel like this isn't a good position to be in as Sacsri. He's now actually managing to drive a few links back, but there's queens. Hydra's got the reinforcement advantage because obviously he's on his side of the map. He got gas, not first, but he is getting gas, so he's not going to be that far behind in that stake. And I don't think that Sacsri's really done that much damage with this. He cancelled the hatch, and that's all he really got out of it.
He got the cancel on the hatch, and he got a few drones. He got 2 drones, managed to drone up a little bit more, and now he's going to be getting speed earlier than Hydra is. But I'm wondering, okay, he's going to have Banelings as well. So having the Baneling follow-up is going to make this a little bit more dicey and a bit more all-in as well, as Hydra is well aware of this. So most likely we'll see a Spine Crawler coming out of Hydra if he does decide to try to secure that natural. But having a Ling and a Bane follow-up, we'll see. It's going to be, once again, up to the control and the timing as well of Sacsri's attack. Because he can't let this go on for too long because the lava advantage for Hydra would just be too strong. It'll be too much, and the Spine Crawler is going to be doing work and securing it. So we'll see exactly how it does play out and how Hydra actually, how seriously he takes this.
Yeah, I'm just kind of checking this out. Sacsri only building, having got himself up to 18 drones, he is only building Lings now at this point. So he's really getting ready to flood out with Speedlings and do some serious damage. And if he gets those Lings out at the right moment, he's going to be able, he's got like a 30-second window where he can engage perfectly as much as he wants with the Lings of Hydra. And he's got to make that count because there's going to be Spines, there's going to be Queens waiting for him at his opponent's base. And if he doesn't use that in the middle of the map, this is that moment. He got it. He picked up a bunch of Lings there, and now going to try and do something else with it.
Yeah. Remember, though, Hydra also took it seriously because he did get the Spine Crawler and the Baneling Nest. So he has Banes at home, and he has an expansion over Sacsri at the moment. No, we got to be careful there with those Lings. And now it's going to be up to that Ling Bane control, and they are both on the North American server. So remember, I think Sacsri is playing from Europe, so he may be at the disadvantage when it does come to the control. But he's going for a transfuse on there. Nice, but the Spine Crawler does go down.
Spine goes down with a little help from the Banes, but I think those Lings came out pretty nicely for Sacsri. He just kind of needs a couple of them to be on slightly high health, but he will pick the low health ones to be turned into Banes, because that's just how it's done. That's how you do it. You send those as the sacrifice Zerglings to kill off the Banes. A big explosion there, getting a lot of Sacri's Lings, actually. I think Hydra's just taking the lead.
Really big here. Sacsri is in a lot of trouble now because now Hydra is on double hatchery production. He has 3 queens that are able to defend against the counterattack, and he just has a much better position here. He's down in drones. That is one thing. And Sacsri is going for his expansion, but this counterattack, is Sacsri going to be able to deal with it? Because he doesn't have any Banes at home. Remember this, that he doesn't have safety Banes, so he has this one Baneling that's going to buy him the time, and that is this lifeline right now.
Yeah, all of his Baneling... Oh, that was a moment there. All of his Banelings have actually been sent across the map for aggression, so he's trying to make this one do anything, but not quite timing it a little bit wrong there, and not quite killing as many Lings as needed. And those, just a few of Hydra's Lings going to run up into the main, maybe trying to equalize up that drone lead that Sacsri has... No, not quite managing it. Not getting away with that. So this game's beginning to stabilize just a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, really, really good there from Sacsri. He didn't... he could have been in a lot of trouble had he not used those Baneling. Like, if he didn't have that one Baneling that was coming back from home, then Hydra would have been able to have free reign, even canceling the Banelings that were morphing in that just had started. But as you said, things have stabilized, and remember that Hydra has invested in the Spine Crawler there, so that's just like another drone investment, 100 mineral investment, while they're both on 2 bases. So really nice moves here from Sacsri, and he's going to be getting his lair, but it is a little bit later than Hydra's.
Yeah, he paid for that, of course. His trade-off for that, I guess, is getting that slight macro edge that we talked about. He has droned up a bit more than Hydra has, getting the economy really stable. But with his tech being behind it, is going to allow, if we see them both heading towards the kind of Roach style, I don't think that Sacsri's going Roaches because he's taking too much gas. But Hydra... definitely aiming for Roaches, getting the Roach speed with that nice quick lair, getting the +1 attack upgrades. It feels like it could be Mutas coming out of Sacsri.
Yep, I think you just may be right as well. And a Spine Crawler coming down. Yeah, I believe it is going to be that Spire, and there it goes.
There it goes.
Nice call, man, as it goes up into the main. But here's a little bit of an issue here. We have the lair already done for Hydra. He got his Roach speed on the way, so it's about a quarter of the way done in his +1. A Roach timing attack usually will punish anybody that is going Muta in just a straight-up macro game, say they hadn't gone aggressive at all. So the fact that Sacsri is behind doing this, he's going to have to deal with this Roach attack and not take a lot of damage. while Hydra is just going to be pumping out units, it seems like, from here on out. He has not even taken his third just yet. It's going to be very dicey here for Sacsri, as he does try to buy the time to get the mutas out.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a wait, and the roaches, the first wave of roaches is already on the field now, going to be pushing out with a few lings, with a bit of baneling support, and that's going to control the space that Sacsri is trying to occupy with lings, with banes, so well. Just the addition of a couple of banes, and even taking a gold base behind it, putting that down just for the extra income. A massive flood of lings coming out for Sacsri is going to help defend this, but he's going to have to be so careful because of those banes, or even more banes now.
Yeah, and I think Sacsri's main goal here is counterattacking, forcing Hydra to come back. Because Hydra, I don't believe, knows that Sacsri's even going for mutas at all. But this amount of lings usually will indicate that it is. Really nice around here by Sacsri getting a lot of those roaches, and just the time that he's buying. He's going to go ahead and see that there's no third here and be like, okay, cool. But then he doesn't realize that there's a gold base here.
He might see it. Yeah, he's heading back that way. What's he do? He sees it. He knows.
Yeah, Sacsri knows. That is kind of a gut-wrenching feeling because, oh my god, Hydra could have got so many hits there, but no, he didn't. Oh boy.
Heart in mouth for a moment there. But Sacsri has achieved his objective. He's bought the time. The mutas are out.
Yep, and he's not going to die to a counterattack just yet, as he does have a lot of spine crawlers going down. His third is up as well, and we are going to be going into Muta versus Roach, but keep in mind here that the whole goals of Mutas are to deny your opponent's third if you can, or at least get the map control so that you can transition into Roaches of yourself, or just... I've seen people go straight Muta, up to Hive, and then do this Broodlord style. But I don't know Sacsri's preference in this matchup.
I'm not sure either. He can't fight that third anymore, that's for sure. No denying that with those Spore Crawlers there. He need a much, much higher Muta count in that regard. And I did see a couple more in production, so I think at the very least...
A lot of Banelings just went into the natural of Sacsri, killing off a few. Not really a lot, though. It was a big investment from Hydra. But he is on the
there's
move.
more coming.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work out for Hydra. I don't know where the mutas are.
No, run by into the natural. Roaches going into that of Sacsri as well. I think they're going to get some good damage done. They might even be able to take down the base itself, but as you said, a lot of spines, so many spines, and even with all of those being killed off, they're doing good damage to the roaches, allowing the mutas to kind of buffer it out and generally allowing the base to weather the storm a little bit. That's a lot of money invested that's actually being killed off, even if they are cheap units like roaches.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that move from Hydra. Is getting... Oh, he does... Oh, he doesn't get the base, but he's getting a lot of damage done. But I think the only reason he's doing this is because he does have the gold base, so he feels like he can throw away a bit of the units here while he just puts on the pressure. And, Sacsri is down to 33 drones, and he doesn't even have a gold such as Hydra does. And I don't know, man. That was a lot of... If you have to take into account the drones, yeah, they died, but that was a huge investment of spine crawlers that got taken out as well for a later attack.
Banelings morphing in Hydra's main, but they don't belong to Hydra.
Oh, this could be pretty big.
Yeah, that is pretty scary. You really don't want that happening. And just keep an eye on those for the moment when they finish, because I think those could go in. If he A-moves them, and I don't think a player as good as Sacsri would just A-move, but if he does, they will go off on the Spore Crawler and do nothing.
Yep.
Here they come. Here they come.
Straight
to the middle. Fantastic reaction out of Hydra, though. Immediately spotting it.
But not so much.
But it is not enough.
Oh, so many Banes. Well, so many drones go down to the Banes. And Sacsri is swinging this back in his favor, and the style that he's going for is something that I haven't really seen. It's going to be the Swarm Host style off of this Muta. So this is going to be something that Hydra is not going to be expecting. And the amount of roaches that he threw away when he attacked into the natural is going to come back to bite him in the butt, because Swarm Hosts are going to be able to hold off the smaller amount of roaches. But if he did have a huge swell of roaches, it may not have been as easy.
Yeah, this is pretty risky. I like the choice to go into Swarm Host a little bit, because obviously they are a unit that a lot of the time it has no risk element to it. They're just pumping out free stuff. You don't have to worry about them. But Zerg very much does have counters to them. They have the Blinding Clouds that deny the space. They have the ability to abduct them, which I believe works on burrowed units as well. They can even get Broodlords, and Broodlords are completely immune in almost every way. Free units versus free units is something that I haven't seen in a little while. And
yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily sure I'm looking forward to seeing again.
But we'll see here. Hydra's response is to go for the Mass Queen style. Notice that he did go for this. Queens are so much better at dealing with mutas, especially if he did add infestors. But he's decided not to add infestors. Queens are a lot better to go for than Hydras, say, because if Sacsri had decided to go for Speed Banes, or even Burrowed Banes, once you kill the Hydras, man, it's not really a good situation here if you don't have the amount of units to defend your roaches from the mutas.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a very interesting game as Sacsri does take it in. And I wonder what his comfort level in this style is, because this is not something that you see every day.
Yeah, I really like heavy queen styles in ZVZ. It's just so smart. It's an edge that your opponent could have, but not necessarily does. And in general, Sacsri's just trying to do a bit of what we saw before, keeping his opponent kind of suppressed a little bit and picking off those queens like we saw Scarlet do versus, I think it was Hyun. And she was just turning up, killing off the queens frequently with the mutas, taking them in small engagements, generally being smart. Hydra trying to go for a counter-attack into the natural now, but I'm not sure that it's going to achieve that much. But this one towards the third, looking very strong. Actually, that one in the natural was going to kill off a lot of drones.
It's the split here, so now Sacsri has to split off his mutas, and he is doing so a little bit. Actually, no, he's not. He's going only to the main, and that's where the majority of the drones are. But where are the swarm hosts? He's invested so much into the upgrade and the infestation pit itself that he just didn't have anything there to defend against the roaches. So he took quite a bit of damage there. Oh. And here comes the train. Look at this right now. Look at all the queens are marching across the map, and there's still roaches that are alive. Sacsri's losing a base as well.
I actually think that it's going to be really, really hard to fight this army of Hydra. He's got so many queens in this. Queens are so good against all air units in general. And the transfuses as well. Mutas are dropping like flies.
So much energy on these queens, but now the energy is out. Who's going to win the battle here? Is it going to be the mutas of Sacsri, or is it going to be the queens of Hydra? And it's looking like the mutas are going to reign supreme. Oh, Lord, but how much damage is being done while this battle is going on? Look at the roaches in the main.
I mean, Sacsri's down to 18 drones at this point, actually losing his spawning pool, that primary structure of the Zerg tech tree. And he hasn't lost the Spire, so mutas, his kind of army unit of choice, are still going to be able to be produced. But Hydra's got a plan for it, and it's infestors. Infestors are in production.
Yeah. I like what Hydra's doing here, going with those queens. It's better to go with... If he had the infestors with that push, he would have most likely won the games right there, but the time that it would have passed may not have been good enough, because, you know, he might have gotten there, and then who knows what kind of tech Sacsri would have. These don't have the pathogen glands upgrader.
No.
That he mistimed it, I believe. No, he didn't get it at all.
No.
Oh, no. There's going to be a lot of damage done here by Sacsri.
Yeah, like, his economy has been absolutely ravaged, but his mutaflock is largely still alive, and he's showing it, going around doing as much damage as he can in the moments where his opponent has to react in some way, keeping everything as suppressed as possible, and might even be able to take out this gold base. In fact, I think
does have energy now, and Sacsri's doing some Jaedong-esque muta stacking here. Doesn't even care. Gonna go right into them, and oh, what a big investment from Hydra if he were to lose all of that.
Yeah, it is a serious risk. There's a muta in that flock that's managing to just survive on almost no health.
Literally, the mutas are picking it up, like holding it by its two wings that are pretty much severed from its body. Yeah. And Hydra loses the gold. And these two players are on some really low econ right now. This is pretty intense.
Yeah. It's those low econ situations where the game is just like, it's so fraught. You get to this point where anything that dies or anything that changes could swing the game one way or another. And that's kind of where we are. It's almost a base race, but neither player is base racing. It's kind of strange.
They're running in place pretty much, but they are in a race. It's going to be a base race in the sense that who's going to run out of economy first. And I think that's going to be Sacsri, because a third base is being taken again from Hydra at the gold. And he has these infestors that can get such great value because of that regenerating energy and just a really great effectiveness against, mutas. Jesus.
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Those little flappy things, man.
Pigeons. They're just going to be flying around, picking off everything they can on the map. No, that's his own overseer. He probably won't kill that. And he's just going to be trying to tear apart the forces of Hydra in general. But there's a lot of queens here, and a few of those infestors have got some serious energy now. Getting fungled is the last thing these guys want.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Hydra is going for the most cost-efficient army that he can off of this low econ, while Sacsri just has these units that aren't really that effective because the Spore Crawlers, 75 minerals or so, just too much value in order to deal, you know, like in this situation, it's too much. GG, though. Hydra takes it 2-0 in this very exciting ZVZ game.
That was an awesome game. That really was. I gotta say, Sacsri GG's at really odd times.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves